Some information is just powerful. So powerful, in fact, that it's dangerous. It needs a fortress, not just to protect the secret itself, but to protect the person brave enough to reveal it. Today, we're prying open the digital strongbox built for the world's most sensitive leaks. We tend to think of security as walls and locks, right? But in the digital age, the battlefield is totally different. It's all about code, networks, and anonymity. And for journalists and their sources, the stakes couldn't be higher. So here's the billion-dollar question. When a whistleblower has a story that could literally change the world, how on earth do they get it to a journalist without being discovered? Well, the answer involves a system that was designed from the ground up for just one thing: extreme anonymity. And that system is called SecureDrop. So let's break down exactly what it is and who really truly relies on it. At its heart, SecureDrop is this specialized software platform. It's totally free and open source, which is a huge deal, meaning anyone can inspect the code for flaws. And get this, it was co-created by the legendary programmer and activist Aaron Swartz. Its entire purpose is to create a secure, one-way channel for sources to give documents to newsrooms without ever revealing who they are. And look, this isn't some niche experimental tool. We are talking about the absolute heavyweights in journalism: the New York Times, the Guardian, the Washington Post. The list goes on. These are the institutions that rely on this system every single day to protect their sources, and by doing that, protect the free press itself.
Okay, so how does it actually pull off this fortress-like security? The process is fascinating. It's kind of complex in the details, but the logic behind it is brilliantly simple. It's all about creating layers and, crucially, separation.
Before we get into the workflow, you have to understand this one key concept: the air-gapped computer. This thing is the absolute heart of SecureDrop's physical security. It's a machine that has never and will never touch the internet. Seriously. It's like a digital desert island, completely cut off from network-based attacks.
All right, so the whole process is like this super careful relay race, both digital and physical. First, the source connects through the Tor network and gets a secret code name. Then, the journalist downloads the encrypted file on an online PC. But here comes the most important step. They physically move that file on a USB stick to that separate, totally offline, air-gapped computer. Finally, they use a second USB drive with a decryption key to unlock and view the files in complete isolation. See, it's a physical break in the chain.
And this physical separation, that is the whole game. The online PC is treated as high risk, a potentially hostile environment. Its only job is to grab the encrypted package. The secure viewing station, on the other hand, is the low-risk sanctuary. Because it never connects to the internet, it's shielded from the vast majority of threats out there. But okay, physical security is only half the story. How does the source stay anonymous in the first place? Well, that's where the magic happening under the hood comes in. You see, SecureDrop doesn't operate on the regular internet. It exclusively uses something called onion services on the Tor network. And that right there is the foundation of a source's anonymity. So how does Tor work? It uses a technique called onion routing. Just imagine your data is an onion. Tor wraps it in multiple layers of encryption. Then it sends this onion through a random path of volunteer computers around the world. At each stop, one layer of encryption is peeled off, revealing the next destination. The genius part is that no single point in that path knows both the origin and the final destination, making it incredibly difficult to trace the connection back to the source. A digital fortress sounds great, but in the world of security, you can't just build your walls and call it a day. You have to constantly be looking for cracks. No system is perfect, and the people who build these tools are obsessed with finding the weaknesses before the bad guys do. This whole process starts with what's called a threat model. It's a formal way of thinking like the enemy. You ask, who has the resources and motivation to attack us? Are we worried about a lone hacker, or are we worried about a powerful government agency? Answering that question helps you focus your defenses. For anonymity networks like Tor, one major theoretical threat is a timing attack. If a powerful adversary can watch traffic entering and leaving the network, they can make educated guesses. If they see a file of a specific size enter at point A, and then a file of that exact same size exits at point B a split second later, they can start to infer a connection between the two. Another powerful long-term strategy is the intersection attack. An adversary repeatedly pings a source. Each time they get a response, they log everyone who is currently online. Over many, many interactions, they can intersect these lists of online users, and eventually only one name might appear on every single list: your source. So, those are the theories.
But what happens when the actual SecureDrop system gets put under the microscope? Well, in 2018, a firm called Leviathan Security did just that. They performed a deep security audit to find real-world vulnerabilities. And they found some fascinating things. For instance, they discovered that the programming language Python doesn't securely erase secret keys from a computer's memory, leaving them potentially recoverable. They also pointed out the inherent risk of USB drives, because they can carry malware, and recommended using Write-Once CDs instead. They even found a simple but really critical flaw. The journalist's login page didn't limit password attempts, opening the door for a brute force attack.
So the crucial point here is that findings like these aren't a failure, they are the whole point. Security isn't something you buy or build once. It is a constant, never-ending process. This quote from the I2P Anonymity Project just captures the philosophy perfectly. We do not believe in security through obscurity. The best defense isn't hiding your flaws. It's about exposing them to sunlight so they can be found and fixed by the community. It's about being open about your weaknesses to become stronger.
And that's really the ultimate lesson here. For a system like SecureDrop, where lives can literally be on the line, the work is never done. The threats evolve, so do the defenses must too. Constant audits, a passionate open source community, and a paranoid mindset are what keep the fortress walls strong.
Which leaves us with a final, bigger question. In this age of mass surveillance, is this endless, complex cat-and-mouse game between secrecy and surveillance simply the new price of a free press? Is this the cost we now have to pay for a press that can hold power to account? It's definitely something worth thinking about.